Hi, it's Charles Cherney, and in this video, I'm looking at the main squares of Somerville, Massachusetts. So what are the main squares of Somerville? First and foremost, there's Davis Square. This is the most famous square in Somerville. There's a Red Line station found here, and it's a real destination. There's a mix of restaurants, shops, and services, many of which are local and independent. And there are some mainstays like the Somerville Theater. And there's always a hustle and bustle in Davis Square. It's a crossroads. It really is, in the eyes of many, the heart of Somerville. And that Red Line station is bringing people to and from Boston, at least generally speaking, when we're not in COVID times. And it really is a wonderful neighborhood, Davis Square. The squares of Somerville, like the squares of Cambridge, have no agreed upon boundary lines. And they're not necessarily squares as much as they are intersections. This is true for Davis Square as much as it is every other square in Somerville. So, where does Davis Square start and where does it end? Good question. No one really knows. We know that Davis Square and the heart of Davis Square is where the Red Line T station is found. And it is this very large intersection, and it involves College and Holland and Elm and these streets that all converge in the heart of Davis Square. Just up Holland is half mile from Davis Square is Teal Square. And here we find, again, a number of restaurants. It's almost like an extension, if you will, of Davis Square, the Teal Square neighborhood. And it's where Broadway, Holland, and Curtis Street meet. Restaurants here include the Bistro and Renee's Cafe. And again, people who live in Teal Square walk down Holland Street into the heart of Davis, and it almost feels like an extension of Davis Square. Then there's Ball Square, located on Broadway. So if you go out Davis Square on Highland and then shoot up Willow ends at Broadway, which puts you in the heart of Ball Square. And Ball Square has a handful of shops and restaurants and services, and it's known for its breakfast places, including Kelly's Diner and Sound Bites and Ball Square Cafe. So it's serving the Tufts community as it's near Tufts, and it's a small square in Somerville. Also nearby is McGowan Square. It's centered on the intersection of Medford Street and Broadway. And again, you have some restaurants, shops, and services along Medford Street here in McGowan Square. And it's a nexus for this neighborhood bordering on Medford. In the southeastern corner of Somerville is Union Square, which is an up-and-coming square that's in the beginning stages of a large urban revitalization plan where we're going to see in due course a Green Line station and all sorts of urban development for residential, retail, and office space. So this is a square in progress, and the calendar for this to come to a new way of being as all this development's planned. And of course, the Green Line station is a big part of that. So we'll see. Ball Square, which I just spoke about, is scheduled to have a Green Line stop as well on the Green Line extension. So as the Green Line moves from Lechmere, last station stop presently in Cambridge, out into Somerville, it's certainly going to have a big impact on the squares in Somerville. And then last but not least is Assembly Square. This is a neighborhood bordering on the Mystic River, the 10 Hills neighborhood of Somerville, and the highway. And when we think of Assembly Square, most of us think of Assembly Row, which is this massive 45-acre mixed-use development project featuring a lot of retail and restaurants and office space and even some rental and condominium complexes. So it's just this massive new neighborhood. There is a T station here on the Orange Line at the Assembly station here. It's on the line. And most of us who think of Assembly Row think of all of the larger companies that have retail outlets here, like the Nike store, for example. So there's a movie theater, there's lots of restaurants, a couple of cafes, and this place just sprang up, it feels, to locals overnight. It's this big new nexus of development. So it's a new neighborhood, Assembly Square, or if you will, the heart of it, Assembly Row. So those are the principal squares of Somerville. And you can learn more about the squares on my primary website, somervillerealestate.com. My name is Charles Cherney. Hope you found the review of the squares of Somerville useful. Reach out at any time to learn more about the city of Somerville, Massachusetts.